Hello and welcome to Reading Things with a Southern Accent 2020, episode 6. 6? 6. However that works out. I would like to thank everyone who tuned in to the previous set. I would say week, but it was kind of a week, but it kind of wasn't a week. Sorry about that. Last week, last set was themed by Roald Dahl stories. I picked out 5. I'm going to try and stop that. Here we go. I picked out 5 Roald Dahl stories. They were the BFG. This is not in order. The BFG, George's Marvelous Magic, Danny the Champion of the World, Matilda, and the Fantastic Mr. Fox. So we read excerpts from those stories and educated a few people on the right way to say Roald Dahl. R-O-A-L-D, Roald Dahl. At the end of, at the end of episode 5, I teased that I wasn't, or I explained, I said, I don't know if it was really a tease, that I wasn't really sure what the next round of episodes would be based on. And although I've gotten some requests, I'm going to hold off on that just a little bit. And I did reference that I have a bunch of vinyl records over here to my right that I could use as resources. And I have chosen that that's what I'm going to do, at least for the time being. Typically this goes in week fashions. I picked out a bunch of records. As you can see, there's more than 5, 6, 7 records here, but I picked out a bunch that we could use as ammunition for things that I believe, song lyrics that could be related to the coronavirus, COVID-19, corona apocalypse, stay-at-home order, lockdown. Now, I'll go through a couple. I'll hold this one. Billy Idol, Men at Work, Catching Up with Depeche. Oh, no. Depeche Mode. The album is Catching Up with Depeche Mode. Greg Kihn Band, Social Distortion, Flock of Seagulls, The Cure, The Ramones, The Smiths, R.E.M., and Fugazi. So I just pulled a few that I think we could relate the lyrics back to this whole thing that's going on. Now, trying to keep slightly culturally relevant and also having a tiny bit of fun. So the lyrics, the songs that I'm choosing, lyrically, may not exactly deal with a pandemic, but if you are imaginative enough, they could make the stretch. You could make the stretch. Excuse me. They could make the stretch. So we're starting off this week, today, Sunday, with an album that was released in 1980 on A&M Records. Slight backup here. 1 second. Sunday nights is when I usually do my radio show. I cannot do that radio show right now because we are on lockdown. So those shows are produced by me, curated by me, songs, lyrics, whatever, chosen by me every Sunday night from my personal collection of vinyl records or records that I borrow from a friend and use them for the show. Mostly records that are from my personal collection. So with that said, I have this resource at my disposal. I figure why not kill 2 birds with 1 stone? I can't do my radio show right now. And I have all these records. I can't play the songs because YouTube and Facebook and whoever else would kick the music off in a heartbeat due to the copyright infringement algorithm police that they have out there. So tonight's first reading of week 2 of Reading Things with a Southern Accent 2020 starts with this record here in my hand. It is sorry. It was released in 1980. The band members are Stuart Copeland, Andy Summers, and a man who goes by one name, Sting. That record is this, Zenyatta Mandata by The Police. The first song on side 1 is Don't Stand So Close to Me. So in this time of coronavirus, COVID, blah, 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 lockdown, I figured that makes sense. Don't stand so close to me. We're supposed to be social distancing. We don't want to be near anyone other than our spouses and our family, those people in our circle. So don't stand so close to me is wildly appropriate. A couple of quick facts here before I get into the lyrics. Now, the lyrics were not in the liner notes, so I had to print them out myself. This song, Don't Stand So Close to Me, won the 1981 Grammy for Best Rock Vocal Performance by a Group. And according to Song Facts, this song is about a teacher who lusts after one of his students. Not necessarily about the coronavirus or a pandemic in general, but make the leap with me. Sting was a teacher before joining the Police. He was no doubt, because back in the day, probably even now, lots of ladies think Sting is a fine specimen of human being. Before joining the Police, he was a teacher and was no doubt the subject of young girl fantasy. But he insists, that the lyric is not based on personal experience. Putting the speculation to rest, he explained in the DVD for his 2001 All This Time album that he made up the story. So with that little bit of background, here we go. We're going to read the lyrics to Don't Stand So Close to Me by The Police. Young teacher, the subject of a schoolgirl fantasy. She wants him so badly, knows what she wants to be. Inside her, there's no room. This girl's an open page. Bookmarking, she's so close now. This girl is half his age. Don't stand so close to me. Her friends are so jealous. You know how bad girls get. Sometimes it's not so easy to be the teacher's pet. Temptation, frustration, so bad it makes him cry. Wet bus stop, she's waiting. His car is warm and dry. Don't stand so close to me. Loose talk in the classroom. To hurt, they try and try. Strong words in the staff room. The accusations fly. It's no use. He sees her. He starts to shake. He starts to cough, just like an old man in that famous book by Nabokov. Don't stand so close to me. Tiny little bit of insight into Mr. Gordon Sumner's psyche. Maybe he fantasized about girls fantasizing about him while he was a teacher. Maybe that's why he turned into a rock star, because rock stars probably are a bit narcissistic and would like to be fantasized about. Who knows? If we can get Sting here in this room for an interview, maybe we could find out the answers to those questions. But we'll never know. However, those are the lyrics that he wrote. Fun fact, in 1985, Sting, Mr. Gordon Sumner, Sting, worked with the band Dire Straits. Now, if you don't know who Dire Straits is, Mark Knopfler, Dire Straits, Sultans of Swing. Great band. Didn't get nearly enough credibility or popularity or whatever bands should get. In 1985, Sting worked with Dire Straits on Money for Nothing. Probably their number one hit, probably the most popular song by Dire Straits, which has a chorus that is very similar to Don't Stand So Close to Me. Compare the lines, Don't Stand So Close to Me with I Want My MTV. They have almost the same amount of Don't Stand So Close to Me, I Want My MTV. Almost the same amount of syllables. Is that the exact same amount of syllables? I don't know. You count, because I can't right now. Sting did not want any songwriting credit, but his record company thought he should get one so that they could receive royalties. Tiny little fun fact there about Sting. Don't Stand So Close to Me. So, there you have it. Kicking off this next set, which is probably going to be a week, we're going to pick songs from my personal library of records that we can say maybe the songs themselves, here they are, records, might have a slight idea towards our lockdown coronavirus status. I wanted to show the actual record to show that there is a real live vinyl record in there. Real vinyl records. One day I'll get back in the studio. They'll let me do my show again. I'll be excited about that. But until then, thanks for tuning in to Reading Things with a Southern Accent. My name is Murph. That's one thing I haven't said yet in the show, and I'm going to start saying it. My name is Murph because that's what I say on the radio, and I say it a lot. My name is Murph. This has been Reading Things with a Southern Accent. Please wash your hands. Good night.